What is on, guys? My name is Josh and I am an independent creative and photographer in the UK. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Polaroid or instant cameras. Are they worth it, or are they just a lump of hipster and not really giving you any kind of good results? Well, I'm here to tell you, if you're a photographer in a creative rut, or you're finding that film is not really giving you what you want and digital is a bit too easy, well, try Polaroid, because it's so frustratingly hard. It comes out with brilliant images. Now, why is that? One, because you can pick these up really cheaply. I bought this automatically focusing Polaroid 600. I think it's called the Impulse AF. That was for £10 on eBay, because people don't really want Polaroid anymore because they believe that the film isn't being produced anymore and it's still old. Now, I'm here to tell you that actually you can get it. It's a bit expensive. It's called Impossible Project. They make it. It's about £16 per pack, which is a bit expensive in my liking, but if you're into Polaroid like myself, it's a bit of a trade-off, because actually you come up with some brilliant images and I love the colour that it produces. Personally, I'm into that faded film look, and I like the fact with a Polaroid camera you cannot control the exposure except for these exposure buttons here. You can only go stops at a time, which sometimes doesn't work, and I found out if I click this, the flash doesn't work, which is great, because it means I have to add my own lighting, so it's always one stop underexposed. But it's great for landscapes where sometimes the exposure is always off. Now, what I'll do is pop up some images of my own Polaroid images I've taken, and maybe you just think to yourself whether it's worth to get into Polaroid, because it is actually a really nice experience to shoot on, because you can't compose the image focus-wise. The rangefinder you use here is just a simple square box, which is the exact focal length which the lens is, which I think is about 40mm, so it won't actually tell you what the exact film like is. Depth of field, there is none. I think it's at like fixed aperture of 8, which is great for landscapes because it means you always get a nice constant field of view. Makes a horrible noise when it's ejecting the film. It's more like a grinding sound, but to me, quite nostalgic. I quite like coming out with it. Unfortunately, it is expensive to get into any kind of film photography, unfortunately, right now. But since other photographers are now into this whole Polaroid film, I think you should get into more like Instax, Fuji film. That's cheaper, but I don't like how small the negatives are, or the images that come out. It takes a while to produce these instant images. It's not instant like a digital camera, but again, if you're so used to it from film, you should find it actually quite quick because you're getting to see it. What else is great about Polaroid? If you're shooting digital, it allows you to get an idea what the final image might look like if you're doing a portrait session. What I like to do is, if I'm shooting a model, I like to take a couple images on my Polaroid film and just give them to the model. It's great for them to understand what they might come out with, their final image, and it's something that you can give to people. It's great if you're doing any street photography, because if you want to take a street photo of someone, people seem that you're taking from them something. You're taking their image. People don't like their image being taken unless they're getting something out of it, which they're not getting any funds out of it, because street photography should be candid and they shouldn't know. But if you're going up to them and ask them, can I take a street portrait of them, and you say, I'll give you a Polaroid afterwards, people love that. They loved having a physical image, and it's great at parties. This is off subject of photography. If you want to set up a party or something, I love putting these on the table and say take photos of the party, because you can take away images, memories, and I think this really is like the physical version of Facebook, because you're taking photos of people and you hand them out. It's 10 photos per box, which is a bit expensive when you could take 16 images, which ends up being like £2 an image. But I think Polaroid and instant cameras are still relevant, because you can come out with actual creative professional images if you just think about manual exposure. It's a lot like Holga, where you can't see the image before and hasn't got many controls. It's very automatic, but the images you come out with at the end, you feel that you've put more image time into them because you spend time on them. So if you enjoyed this video, please like or comment below, or let me know if you still shoot film or still shoot any kind of instant film, and let me know what you've done with instant film, whether it be portrait, street or landscape, or whatever you do. And I will see you in the next one, guys. See ya.